23. The summit also enjoined everyone to promote the fact that monies are not picked on the streets of foreign countries, like some people are made to wrongly believe, but consistent hard work over the period, even in Igbo land, we pay handsomely at the end. 24. The summit encouraged attendees to maximize what we have been taught on organic agriculture and new improved farming technologies that will bring surplus yields in line with our food safety, food security, and longevity vision for all. 25. Under this platform, all hands must be on deck to discountenance any bogus or speculative historical connection and make room for authentic historical relationship between the Igbo nation and the Hebrews, and efforts consciously made to follow up on the economic, health, cultural, educational gains derivable from partnership with the Hebrews. 26. The summit further encouraged Hebrews to always remember that cleanliness is next to godliness, and so learn to keep our environment very clean and eliminate the breeding of bacteria and fungus that causes diseases and early premature deaths. 27. The summit noted that obviously and in many instances, the history of the Hebrews is very much like an excursion into the history of the Hebrews. So it follows without saying that deliberate efforts should be made under this platform to draw a post-conference agenda of partnership in agriculture, engineering, education, health, culture, and the like. 28. The summit presented one of the earliest maps of this place, now called Nigeria, by a famous geographer, Ibio Sanito, in 1588, who discovered a country of the Jews in the southeast of the kingdom of Benin Empire, which is no other set of people but the Igbos. 29. The summit also presented another equally important map of the place now called Nigeria between 1914 and 1960 by Lord Frederick Lugard, Governor General of Nigeria, that has the Star of David, the Star of David symbol, which is a representation of the place inhabited by Hebrews in the Igbo enclave. 30. The summit displayed the currency in use from 1909, the penny, that also retained the Star of David symbol, which is a further pointer that something existed beyond the ordinary between the Igbos and the Hebrews, and the rich plurality of the Igbos still today have that inherent belief that the Igbos are Hebrews. 31. The summit believes that this accounts for the natural support and fidelity that flows from Hebrews to the Igbos from the onset of the pre-independence Nigeria to today. 32. The summit agreed that since the Igbo-Hebrew relationship is such a recurring issue in our national history, it is important from this platform for us to discover our real history and accordingly challenge our sociologists, anthropologists, linguists, botanists, biologists, etc., to undertake the subject of deep intellectual work for posterity further, to push it further. From this summit, we resolve to strive to reverse the migration tendency of our people to looking inwards and reinvent Igbo land, a great nation that is supposed to be, that it is supposed to be, because of the creativity and the industry of the Igbo people. 34. The summit hereby advises the governments of Igbo land that the proposed return of the diasporans should start with Igbo land, because over 50% of those in diaspora, that is our black diasporian brothers, are Igbos. And Igbo land will be a tourist heaven when this happens. 35. The summit upheld that part of the process for actualizing these programs should be through the involvement of the SS and other traditional rulers in the entire Igbo land to drive these initiatives to their subjects and communities, so that substantial impact will be created between now and the next 2 years. We further agreed that a conference of Ndiese and Ndinse should be convoked. 36. The summit also suggested that church leaders should be involved in this movement and efforts should be made to merge and unify some of the major programs of Igbos, like the New Yam festivals, etc. 37. The summit encouraged the Igbo man to revisit their unrivaled management styles of dominance in trade and commerce, with the practice of taking along their brothers, cousins, and relations to serve as apprentices, what we call Igbo Dibo, for a given number of years, after which they are settled to operate their own businesses and take hold of territories, just like Abraham carried his new nephew Lot along in the Bible. 38. The summit stressed that the implementation of these resolutions is important to sustain the momentum we have generated with our Igbo-Hebrew relationship. 39. The summit finally agreed that the King Jaja of Opobo connection, whose dynasty had documented evidences of their claim to the throne of David through King Rehoboam, and now is now well settled, well established, and settled in Israel. They are now well settled in Israel. It's another interesting historical linkage and route towards validating the authentic Igbo-Hebrew connection, and should be further x-rayed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the communique issued by the summit that took place right here in this hotel in Imo State, Nigeria, Imo State, Nigeria, between the 11th and the 13th of November 2019. And all the participants, their list is available for those who may want to have it or know those who attended. This is signed by Bishop Dr. Chidebere Nelechobu, International President of Igbo Hebrew Cultural Heritage Organization, President of the African Diaspora Union, Prelate of Impact Africa Educational Foundation, and Global Chairman of the International Garden for Peace and Human Rights. Also signed by Chief Honorable Evangelist Chief Barrister Jerry Egemba, the National President of Igbo Hebrew Cultural Heritage Organization and National President, International Garden for Peace and Human Rights, and Chairman, ECOWAS Region, African Diaspora Union, Africa. And our brother, Minister Dr. Kazri Ben Yehuda Derek Jackson, Minister of Government Cabinet, Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. Thank you very much, and may God bless us.
Thank you very much.
And circulated and made to be studied in schools and other fora in Igbo land, since taking it away will amount to denial of the Igbos their natural right to their history and knowledge of their roots. 11. The summit noted that our culture is the way of our lives, and it is expressed in our Igbo language, and so efforts should be intensified to ensure that our Igbo language is made compulsory for studies in our schools. 12. The summit agreed that plans should immediately be put in place for the informal teaching of Igbo and Hebrew languages to the young and old in Igbo land until it is accepted as part and parcel of formal school curriculum. 13. This summit resolved to set up committees to draw up the formalities and logistics for this very important move of making Igbo language a language of commerce with visibility in the World Wide Web and visual teachings. 14. This summit further agreed that mobilization and sensitization of these resolutions should be made to get directly to the average young and old Igbo man, for them to join the movement to make this a popular movement. 15. The summit agreed that the planned reorientation of our history, language, and culture should also address the dress code of our people that had lately degenerated. 16. The summit resolved that the right time is now to properly dissect the historical assertions and writings of the exodus of a tribe of Israelites in bondage in Egypt, down south to Africa, West Africa, and to current location in southeastern Nigeria, that's the Igbos, before the official biblical exodus of Israel from Egypt to the Promised Land. 17. The summit also noted that in the 14th and 15th century, or centuries, when the sovereignty of Israel was completely destroyed and the entire people scattered, a group moved down south via Sudan to present location in southeast, thereby validating Igbo-Israelite connection. 18. The summit agrees that besides the resilience of the Hebrews in survival wherever they are found, another striking similarity between Igbos and Hebrews is their shared spirituality and religiosity, not to worship any other god or idol, because their God, one, he is a jealous God, and each time they do, he allows another nation to take them into captivity or scatter them to the ends of the earth as a punitive measure, which is a pointer that Igbos could be the lost tribe of Israel in the current Igbo land. 19. The summit noted that the written account of Ola Udo Ekwano, Igbo slave author some centuries ago, who reinforced the Igbo Hebrew consciousness centuries ago, and others, given their similar practices and customs, for instance, in circumcision of male children after 8 years, greetings, eating habits, mourning the dead, celebration of new moon, omugwo, entrepreneurial spirit, etc., and concluded that Igbos must no doubt have Hebrew genetics. 20. On the health angle, it is scripturally established that it is a big error for the man God created in his image and likeness to live in poverty, sickness, and a very short lifespan of 52 years. Hence, we need to achieve needed food safety and health education and promotion, explore the link between agriculture and longevity, and to return to God, to restore his original idea of God, his original idea of God or paradise on earth. 21. The summit shared a species of okra to some of our members to be planted as a pilot project as part of our resolve to go organic in agriculture, and advised regular feedback should be sent back to the platform on the performance of those seedlings. 22. The summit further advised that though affinity with Hebrews and Igbos is settled, but Igbos must not think it is all about financial handouts from Israel or possible migration back to Israel, as that would not also happen, but must holistically pursue Hebrews' passion for wisdom as found in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, grace, hard work, industry, truth, peace, equity, which are all the hallmarks of their excellence in every aspect of life. And by so doing, our God-given place of rulership in Nigeria will be achieved seamlessly. 23. The summit also enjoined everyone to promote the fact that monies are not picked on the streets of foreign countries, like some people are made to wrongly believe, but consistent hard work over the period, even in Igbo land, will pay handsomely at the end. 24. The summit encouraged attendees to maximize what we have been taught on organic agriculture and new improved farming technologies that will bring surplus yields in line with our food safety, food security, and longevity vision for all. 25. Under this platform, all hands must be on deck to discountenance any bogus or speculative historical connection and make room for authentic historical relationship between the Igbo nation and the Hebrews, and efforts consciously made to follow up on the economic, health, cultural, educational gains derivable from partnership with the Hebrews. 26. The summit further encouraged Hebrews to always remember that cleanliness is next to godliness, And so learn to keep our environment very clean and eliminate the breeding of bacteria and fungus that causes diseases and early premature deaths. 27. The summit noted that obviously and in many instances, the history of the Hebrews is very much like an excursion into the history of the Igbos. So it follows without saying that deliberate efforts should be made under this platform to draw a post-conference agenda of partnership